Hello, dear Mr. President, Mrs. Toastbusters, dear fellows and guests. I'd like to start my speech with the name of Banksy. Perhaps you heard this name, Banksy, and know some of his works. I'll put it here. For those who can't remember him, I say that this is the nickname for the English provocateur who made such works and such masterpieces in the streets. Because of his art and because of his creativeness, he became very popular in his motherland and all over the world. By the way, my speech is not about him. I'd like to speak about his film, the film which he directed. It's the film Exit from the Gift Shop. Maybe you heard about it. Generally, this film is about street art, it's about Banksy somehow, but the main hero of this film is a fellow who wanted to be an artist. And in some time, he made a huge exhibition of his works, though this fellow was not very talented. And all he did is he took some artworks of very prominent artists such as Andrew Warhol, for example, and changed them somehow, made big installations of his artworks, and made such exhibitions, put in the big advertisements of these projects. And this exhibition was very popular, and he took a very big profit on it, though he was not very talented. The main question which I'd like to ask is that what is the monetary base for art? And does such art give some contribution to our culture in general? I decided to make a small research to find out. Well, if we look in the history, we'll find out that art was always dependent on money. And money was always making investments in art and making statements which art is good, what is bad, what artwork is with a cultural base, and what not. But as we all know, there were all such great artists whom we know nowadays, which were not very prominent at their time, and who were very poor at that time. But in some time, in a few generations, they become very popular. The main thing, the main structure which made them very popular were some great investors who could put money in them, and it could be some auctions of art. Nowadays, these auctions of art and these investors, they put in much money, and they are very responsible for the huge prices on art nowadays. If we look at the list of the auction, we'll find out some names of the artists, but much of them are bought by museums. Much of their artworks are bought by museums and put on huge exhibitions to make them public. So, in some time, these artworks become public, and they are already supposed to be the contribution in our culture. I'd like to compare these to some artists who are very young, who just made some masterpiece and perhaps think that this is a masterpiece. The first thing they're about to do is to find and persuade some manager, some investor to make their masterpiece public. And look at the reaction. Is it really public? Is it really good? If we compare it to the film of Banksy, we'll find out that this fellow wasn't very talented. He did this. He made some masterpieces, made some huge exhibition, and so what? What is in the future? Perhaps we should look what will be in a year, in 10 years, or maybe in a generation. What will be with his exhibitions? Will people like to look at this? Would people like to buy this or not? And sorry it is for these artists who are newcomers in this business. In conclusion, I'd like to say that what is good for our generation is supposed in present time. But what will be good for the future generation, and what will make the contribution in the culture of future generations, it will be defined and it will be stated only in the future. So we'll look at it. Thank you.